Okay, hey everyone. So yeah, let's hit it off. So the first one is relying on personalization with the Power BI, hiding of reports. So in the past they used the flag, I think, to do. They use the flag for this Power BI, all the Power BI related stuff in BC on the role center specifically, but also across the show. What they're doing now is, let me just show you that. So what you can do now is you can use normal personalization to show and hide this stuff as per normal. If you go to personalize, blah blah blah, you can just you've also got this where previously you didn't have that ability to just hide and move it there. Another one that's maybe a little bit more interesting is you would see that there's all over the show you've got this thing Power Automate little flag, not flag action that you get in here. This Power Automate one. And what's interesting is you can do it in one of two places. So the first thing what they did is they actually created a user permission for it. Just go to user groups. So on user groups, you will see a automation action or automate action. And if you look at the permissions for that, it's this automate execute, which basically allows you to show and hide it. And then what you can do is if you're on that one, obviously you can just add members or not add members. Depending what you do is you can see it. So in this case, you can see this Alan. He's got the action. So he too can have that little Power Automate one. But if I go as an administrator and I just switch him off and say, well, you no longer shall have that, then if I refresh this, it should take it away. Now I don't have it anymore, right? So that's the one thing one way of doing it. I just want to put it back because no, that one. Just want to put him back as a member because I want to show you another way of doing it. So Alan, if I just add him again, boom, it should be added. Then there's a thing called as an administrator, I think it's a global administrator, but I'm not 100% sure what type of administrator. But there's a privacy notices status. So if I go into privacy notices status, I've got this cool place where I can just in one go say, well, for all things Power Automate, I can agree for everyone. So what will happen is if you initially start up the system and you've got this Power Automate, let's just refresh him again. I'm not sure if he's going to have that option now because he previously was enabled. So actions, no, not actions. Where is it now? There we go. Power Automate. There'll be a get started here. If you initially start up with Power Automate, it'll be a get started. If you click on it, you click through the basic, notices and whatever the case may be. And if you go beyond that and you say, okay, I'm fine, I'm in, and you're allowed to do it, you have got that Power Automate obviously enabled, you should be able to get here and you can create your own flows in here. But what you can do is as an administrator, you can just check this agree for everyone or disagree for everyone. If you disagree for everyone, it just switches it off for everyone. So that's quite a cool one to remember as a global administrator. Then on top of that, along the same vein, if you've got this Power Automate, these ones can now be automated. If I have a load of these flows in my system, I didn't create one. Sorry, I should have created one. But if I've got a load of these flows on a page, I can actually use personalization to personalize that. So I can use personalize to actually, if it was there, I think if it's not there, you can personalize. But if it is there, you can personalize it to say, well, whether it should show it or should hide it. So that's the other thing that came in together with this Power Automate little button. So you can use standard personalization to personalize this as well as you can do for any of these. You'll get this button, but only for the actual flows. This is quite a do to create one of these Power Automate ones. I'll just explain it from what they do in this standard documentation. So what you can do is you can actually notify. So the requirement or the feature is using Power Automate Flow to notify Business Central of Dataverse entity changes. And what you can do is if you go to this page here, it actually takes you through this. So there's these new actions that you can take or templates that you can use to actually notify Business Central when some changes happen in the Dataverse. So It doesn't need to be, as far as I know, you don't need to have synchronization on for this. But the point is, you can basically use any of these to say, well, when a specific contact changes or account changes or currency in this case, but you can obviously change that to any account or to any table that's in the Dataverse. These are just templates that to get you started. So you'll basically say, well, when you hit one of these and you started, start designing a flow, you can specify the table on there. And then if that table is changed, you can obviously just say, well, if it gets modified, and the notification on BC is pretty, it's pretty standard as well. It uses a standard creator record. So what this example does, it basically creates a record, any record, whether it's you can also update, if it's a related account like a customer, you can actually update the account from the information that you're getting from the Dataverse, obviously. So you want to synchronize the two, but this is a way to manually synchronize that as well. If there's specific fields or specific actions that you want to take based on a change on the Dataverse tables. So this is a cool one. Media messages or media images and support for Business Central connectors. So what you can do is you can basically, again, from a Power Automate flow, you can basically add images and any media files for that matter. You can add it or get it from BC. In other words, you can use the API to extract media files from BC. In other words, if you want to get, all the images for customers, you can say get an image. You can use this specific action. And you can do the same with updating them as well. You can both set and get images or any file attachment for that matter. And that brings me into the next one. It's the support for attachments, which is basically exactly the same. So Power Automate supports documents attachment. So you basically can extract, if you've got, for example, your sales orders, you can basically, or your sales invoices, you can actually extract the PDF version of that and put that in OneDrive, for example. For whatever reason, if you want to save that, a copy of that as a saved version of a PDF format, you can actually do that with Power Automate. Right, the OneDrive setup. Okay, so on your My Settings, you got a thing called Cloud Storage here, which is basically, if you click on it, it takes you to your cloud storage folder for that particular user. So if you've got a sales order, you can see here there's an open in OneDrive, and there's let's forget about the share for the moment. No, the share, I think, yeah. So if I share this attachment, if I want to share this attachment with someone else, what it does is it actually copies it to your OneDrive, and then you can share it from there. So once it's copied this, and then I can share it. So at the back of this, I'm going to leave that open. There's my Business Central that was created, a folder that was created. And if I click on that, click on the company itself, you can see that's the file that I'm about to share. So what it's doing is it's sort of, I don't know if it's governing what you're sharing, but it's giving it's using the standard functionality of OneDrive to save whatever you've got and whatever you want to share in Business Central to your local OneDrive, and then I can share it. I can say, well, I want to share this with Molly. Molly is one of my other users, and I can just say send, and then that will be shared with Molly as well. So, which actually comes from BC, this attachment. Okay, delegated admins can edit in Excel. Now, previously, delegated admins couldn't edit in Excel. That's the point. So what they can do now is they can use the standard edit in Excel feature, right? I mean, this edit in Excel, they can use this as a delegated admin, and it makes it easier for them to do data migration for customers. The next one, shared teams action now included the link preview. So with this one, it includes a little, if I share from BC, and if I share to a different user, it includes a little preview as well. It's not just a link. Previously, it was just a link. Now it includes a little box and blah, 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 all kinds of preview items. So let's look at that in action. So I want to share this item. If I say share, hit the share button, share to Teams, and I can specify then I'm taken to this Teams folder. So what I can do is I can share this with my good friend Alan. There we go. And if I say now it's this chair, set of chairs here, if I share it with them and I go to their chat. So this is what it does. It basically gives you this link, but it also includes this little widget where it basically tells you a little bit more information of the thing that I'm sharing, the entity that I'm sharing, which is basically a link preview. And if I either click on details or if I click on the link, it will take me into BC to that particular item. Right, the next thing is choosing a report layout on a request page. So what they've done is, this was a big one. And so what you can do is you can basically, this line wasn't there previously. The report layout previously was you had to go through your report selections to make sure that you select the correct one, blah, 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 all of that. And you didn't have this ability. You could only select one at a time and it wasn't available at runtime. Now, if I click on that, I can choose whichever one is going to be used right now for this specific layout, for this specific printout. And it's a different way of writing the reports as well. So for the devs, they obviously know this already. But you just use the rendering options. I think it's called rendering options. And you would specify different layouts within that rendering option. And these are the layouts. So let's just look at it. So initially, for the first one, it would look like this. And if I say, no, I don't like this one, or this might be a nice use case for this might be one that has got pricing on it and one that doesn't have pricing, one that has got a barcode, the barcode of the order on it and the other one doesn't, stuff like that. So, and if I preview this one, it looks completely different, right? It's just a layout. What sits at the back, it's exactly the same report. And that's a nice thing because all over the show, it's starting to pop up where you can use different, you've always been able to use different custom layouts, but this one just makes it a little bit easier for on the fly. Every different scenario, you can select the same or select the one from the list here. You don't need to use the same one every time. Oh, and the other thing to note as well is you can see the one is a RDLC and the one is a docx. You can have Excel in here. You can have all kinds of different formats and an unlimited number of report layouts. So I can have 10 different RDLC layouts, 5 different docx's, and 100 different Excel report formats in here, all for the same report itself. But I can choose which one to use. Okay, the last thing I wanted to show you is they call it the new dedicated APIs for financial reporting. Now, as you know, account schedules are no more. It's called financial reporting, financial reports. And so what I've done is instead of using Excel to bring that data source, those data sources in, I just used Power BI Desktop. So what I'm going to do is just to show you the new APIs that they've exposed. If I say get data, this one is already pointing to this one, the tenant of mine. So I can just go onto here, say online services, Business Central. If I connect like this now, it would take me to my different environments, and then I can choose my specific environment. Now, the one that they've added is this one. It's called Microsoft Reports Finance/Beta or Beta. Essentially, it's just another set of APIs that they've exposed. And you can see it's in beta at the moment. I would assume they're still working on it because reports, this account schedule change to financial reports are sort of newish. And I'm sure they're feeding the market to see, what they need to do and what people want and what people don't want. So this is quite cool. I mean, it's just another set of APIs or web services that they basically introduced.
Thank you for watching this Archer Point video. Stay in the know with the latest on Microsoft Dynamics by subscribing to our channel. You can also learn more from our blog at archerpoint.com. or email info@archerpoint.com to contact us. See you in the next video.